Hey guys, this is John and welcome to the free video. So for today, we are going to look at the transportation index as our first line in the sand. And this is something I've been talking about for a while, and today we actually did take out 6-month support. And you can see we've got a weekly squeeze here that will most likely trigger if by next week, which means essentially 8 to 10 weeks of weakness in the transportation index. Now, I'm bringing this up. I'm not trying to it's like, oh, it's the end of the world or anything like that. I'm just saying that if the transportation index goes, it's typically the first index to roll over before a larger decline. Now, if we look at the spiders, does anything look bearish at all? No. Okay, so that's kind of strange, right? So what do you do? And in fact, not only does it not look bearish, but we've got a squeeze here that's triggered long. So what do you do in a situation like this? And to me, the absolute best thing to do is you have a policy where you instead of just blindly doing the indexes, okay, like so here's AMBA, okay? AMBA is a strong stock. Here's a debit spread. We bought it at $4.46. Now it's $8.40. This stock keeps going higher, right? And so if we look at AMBA, you can see like, wow, clearly that's a strong stock, right? But if we look at IYT, which is the ETF for the transportation sector, right? This is definitely not something that we want to be long. And in this case, sold a call credit spread, okay? With the idea that, for $3, with the idea that that would expire worthless and would keep that money. So in this market, I just think that it's financial potential disaster to just say, wow, it doesn't, since the spiders are going higher, that means that generally any stock that I have is going to go higher. Okay, that's not true. Airline stocks, not doing so hot in this environment. In fact, they've rolled over for a while, right? But even energy stocks, I mean, they're having a tough time here as well. And at the end of the day, this really becomes it's just a stock picker's market, meaning look at the indexes as an overall trend to see kind of what's going on, but really drilling down to what is the sector doing? What is the stock doing? Okay, if it's a stock in the transportation index, we're only doing shorts. If it's a stock in the energy sector, we're looking more on the short side. But if it's more of a stock, like say a stock that's outperforming the indexes like AMBA, then and only then will we look at that on the long side. Because what happens is if you just get a normal stock, okay, and a normal stock's going to follow the indexes. So if the transportation index really goes and the spiders follow, a normal stock's going to follow it and go down, whereas a stock like AMBA could actually fight that trend and continue doing what it's going to do. Okay, that's the key in this kind of market. Okay, and last but not least, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about, and this was actually shortly after the Las Vegas seminar, where we had Mark Douglas there talking about the psychology piece of it, and I had so many people come up and say, okay, that was great, and it's helped me in my trading so much. What is, just in terms of overall personal development, what is a good source of information? Because there's obviously a lot of books out there, and some of the books are good, and a lot of them are bad, and this is one, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. So, okay, and last but not least, this is something that I had mentioned, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and just want to do a last reminder on this. When I was done with Las Vegas with Mark Douglas, people were blown away by all the kind of the psychological stuff that really helped them. And I got a lot of questions on, just, John, overall, what's your kind of favorite source of personal development? And this guy, this guy named Dean Graciosi, he has a phenomenal business, Inc. 500 and all that. He owns 600 properties. Like, he's a real estate investor, and then he teaches people how to do that. But and I met him through a mastermind. So, he's in a group. I've seen his own development. He's the real deal. He's a genuine guy. He's got a wife and kids. He's trying to do the best that he can with his family, with his business. And he's friends with Tony Robbins. He's shared the stage with him before. Just a really cool guy. And so what he's done is, through his life experience, I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. So his life experiences Plus, he's read hundreds of personal development books, but he's essentially put together a best of. And essentially, of everything that he's learned in his life, and all the books that he's read, and all the personal experience that he's had, he's just kind of put together this best of lessons, which is cool. And again, it's something, and I learned stuff from him too. You can go to simpleroptions.com/confidence, name, email address, and you can watch and download a free thing that he has put together. And then, I think for those of you that are interested, he's got something where in the next couple of days, it's a bigger webinar where, then there'll be like a course or something like that. I mean, pretty reasonable stuff. But he's just one of those guys that he's gone out there, he's blazed a trail, he's genuine, and the stuff that he's put together is really solid. And for those of you that are into that, this is just one of those things that's kind of a nice, kind of a shortcut to peak performance, for lack of a better term. All right. Hope it helps. You guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you at the next update.